We're going to get going and talk about fueling innovation in engineering software, 3D engineering software. So I'm Jonathan Giroir, technical marketing manager here and just general technical evangelist at TechSoft. I've had an opportunity to work with many of you who are calling in. Thank you so much. It's great to see you guys, at least virtually. And we have three presenters here from partners that we're going to learn a little bit from and what they're doing with our technology. But it looks like we're at the hour now, so we can get started, start talking about innovation and just what we can be doing with our technology. And, you know, this is a real privilege to be here talking with you about how you're using TechSoft SDKs. So we have graphics engines and data translation toolkits and publishing toolkits, and we resell a lot of technology, Parasolid from Siemens, but they're all SDKs, they're all APIs. They're by themselves not very exciting, but it's what you do with these that is really interesting. And it always amazes me when we're able to see a demo and see how in real life, if it's mining or plant and process and or manufacturing, what you do with it. And so what gets me out of bed and our engineering team is knowing that we're fueling innovation with this technology that we're providing. And today we're celebrating that with really a partner showcase. But it could be allowing you to build better, more fuel efficient and safer cars, or smart buildings, or the next generation of 3D printing software. So whatever it is, that's what you specialize in. And we're going to be talking about that, allowing you to specialize and really innovate in your field. And that's just great to see. And so this is something that we hold dear, is this ability to fuel innovation. And we're going to speak with three people today: Brian Hughes from AVEVA, Mathias Gustafsson from Eurostep, and Jim Sronce from Datamine. And they're going to kind of step us through what their company does. Now, it might not be exactly what you're doing and the market that you're in, but it's all around 3D engineering software. And so we can take away some of what they've been suffering with, or where they're trying to innovate. So it's a real opportunity for us to connect. Now, a couple things before we get started, though. This session is recorded. That's always the first question: is this session going to be recorded? So that's the first one. Then the second one is, if you have questions, please add them to the chat or the Q&A panel, and we will try to address them either during or after our session where there's Q&A. So right now, let's listen to Brian Hughes. He's from AVEVA, the senior product manager. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. He's going to talk about the use of Hoops Exchange, which is our file reading SDK, and how they leverage that at AVEVA.
Thank you, Jonathan. Just let me share my screen. Can you just confirm you can see my screen and hear me?
Looks good.
Great, then we'll begin. Yeah, welcome everybody. My name is Brian Hughes. As Jonathan said, I'm a senior product manager at AVEVA. Run a team of product managers there that look after various products. So today I want to introduce AVEVA to you, for those of you that don't know us. I want to talk about one of our flagship products that I actually look after, which is E3D Design, or AVEVA E3D Design, and how we're using the Hoops Exchange SDK to extend our footprint in that area. But first, I'll start with talking a bit about AVEVA. So AVEVA is a world leader in industrial software, simply. Our business is founded on trusted partnerships with our customers. Most of these are leading industrial companies across the globe who use our expertise and products to unify their data and combine it with leading edge analytics. We've recently merged with the OSI Soft company, bringing together their leading operational data management, the PI system, and we've combined it with our innovative industrial software. This is going to empower our customers to enable even higher levels of performance and efficiency in their project execution. We've been around a while. We've got over 50 years of innovation. To date, we've got over 2 million licenses installed, and we hold a leading market position in various markets, as you can see here on the right hand side: energy, oil and gas, power, chemicals, marine, etc. So we've got a really good footprint, And together we've got a partnership ecosystem with over 5,500 partners and SIs to really drive digital transformation in our customer base. We're committed to development, and we want to grow our expertise, and we have an ongoing investment of over 175 million pounds per year into R&D. And we're listed in London on the stock exchange in the FTSE 100 with a market cap of 20 billion and revenues of around 2 billion. Our largest partner, Schneider Electric, is also a 60% shareholder of this new company. So we used to really develop software and strategies and technologies around businesses that were driven where there was a focus on health and better living and consumption patterns and consumability, really. But we've seen recently in recent times huge changes in the way we work, the way we live our lives. COVID and the pandemic has had a huge impact on the way people use and leverage our technology and look at our solutions into the market. And we've seen a huge drive towards digitalization, and our digital tools have got a crucial role to play in this imperative. From cloud through to industrial IoT, big data, AI, analytics, extended reality, etc. We can use this digital model to enable many industries to adapt, survive, and change in this unprecedented times we're finding ourselves in at the moment. We were also an industry leader, so we know there's a lot expected of us. We've tried to articulate a vision in 3 ways that we can demonstrate our leadership in environmental, social, and governance with our technology agenda. Firstly, our technology handprint. We try to transform the energy efficiency, circularity, traceability, and resilience of our worldwide industries that our customers serve, and help them with secure, safe, and sustainable software. We've got an inclusive culture at AVEVA, so we like to be inclusive, look after the well-being of our people and our partners and our customers, and create opportunities for them where we can. And then lastly, we've got our operational footprint, which is exemplifying environmental stewardship and ethical businesses. So we are really trying to drive towards this green initiative. We're a member of the FTSE for Good initiative in London. Obviously, we're very connected to the 1.5 degrees C initiative for the United Nations, etc. as well, and the World Economic Forum, I should say. Just a bit about our company. We've got a really broad spectrum of a network. We've got 6,500 employees now after the recent merger, 5,500 partners who really form part of our global ecosystem. You can see the scope and breadth of our R&D development on this graph. We've got 10 R&D hubs, 20 project execution hubs, and around about 2,000 people deployed in R&D across the business. Each year we invest around 16% of the revenue we make back into our products and back into our R&D to make our technology really great to use, easy to adopt, and streamline our customers' digitalization process. Just a quick video now to give you a real high-level summary of AVEVA.
To succeed today, you need to engineer smarter, operate better, and drive sustainable efficiency. To do that, you need more than data. You need information and analytics working together so you can benefit from intelligence at scale. At AVEVA, we've come together with OSIsoft to elevate your information and empower your teams. We've combined data infrastructure with our leading industrial software to create performance intelligence. It connects the power of information and artificial intelligence to human insight, giving the people behind everyday essential processes the rich data they need to unlock a new level of performance. Now, industries from water and energy to food and infrastructure can visualize new opportunities, accelerate digital transformation, realize growth, and drive sustainability. Together, we enable people and industries to thrive. AVEVA, we'll take you there.
So really, we're combining a world-class software to drive this performance intelligence, and we've got a really broad software catalog spectrum that we offer to our customers through design, operation of the plants, and optimization of the plants. A real end-to-end CapEx offering from the CapEx phase right through into the operational phase, which as we know, for some of these complex assets can run for many years. The area I'm going to talk to you today is about 3D design, which sits here on the left inside of the engineering and execution part of the business. We also serve over 20,000 customers in a multitude of industries, varying from power and energy, food and bev, CPG, triple M, marine, EPC, traditional oil and gas customers, etc. So lots of big customers and names that are using various offerings from AVEVA. The product we want to talk about today really is one of our flagship products, AVEVA E3D Design. This is a 3D CAD application for designing very complex one-off capital projects for the industries you saw above. So typically used for heavy industry, for marine, nuclear power plants, oil and gas installations, onshore and offshore, upstream, midstream, downstream. So a wide spectrum of industries that this CAD tool can be used in. So again, a quick video to give you an introduction of what E3D is and what it's used for.
AVEVA Everything 3D is the world's most advanced 3D design solution, offering class-leading capabilities and seamless compatibility with AVEVA's other engineering design solutions. Our customers are using E3D to design plant, power, offshore, marine, and brownfield projects leveraging the power of laser. It's about bringing all the designers and disciplines together to build a common model, giving them the general and specific features and functions needed to efficiently create their part of the design. By working together in a common model, they are able to identify and resolve clashes between disciplines, and this extends into the use of laser when the new can be checked against existing. E3D is underpinned by AVEVA's technology, which allows our customers to design, model, and deliver across multi-locations the world's largest and most complex assets. With those large models comes the need to manage, identify, and control change. Within E3D, change can easily be identified, history understood, and the appropriate status values set. The concept of a common model extends to integrating with the wider AVEVA portfolio. For example, the intelligent P&ID, ensuring the 3D model stays aligned with all aspects of the design. And for customers working in brownfield or revamp projects, there's no need to remodel the as-is situation. Just tie the new model into the existing by directly using the laser scans. As E3D is a data-centric application, it's that data that becomes the source of the reports, lists, and schedules, from traditional BOMs through to insights into model status and completeness. E3D also provides a powerful draw application, so customers can produce their 2D deliverables directly from the 3D model, from general arrangements through to those discipline-specific automated deliverables. So why do customers use E3D? It's an intuitive, quick-to-learn application which supports the largest models, promoting efficiency across the disciplines to deliver the models to support the digital twin. Our customers span industries and sectors, owners and EPCs, all using our software to design and deliver some of the world's largest and most complicated projects.
So, why we're here today, why are we using the Hughes Exchange SDK? Well, we've got our own graphical pipeline, but we have a few issues that we've tried to address by using some of the best software out on the market today. So, we are working in industries where there's been a shift change in the last 10 years where our customers have moved from using a 3D model to generate deliverables, create a clash-free environment, procure materials, etc., and then really actually just not doing anything more with the model once you've actually built your installation. The real shift change has been that the operations people have now realized that the amount of information that's created during the CapEx phase to build 3D models, create drawings and documents, and build up a real huge engineering data, which forms part of the digital twin, is actually a really useful asset that you can use in operations to leverage the data that's in there to help you optimize and train your users to be more efficient and maybe even off-site. Use it for visualizing and experiencing the information that you have in the 3D model when you're searching for information about an asset, for instance, if you're looking for a pump on a refinery, it's much easier to search this in a 3D environment, potentially even in a wearable device, than actually trawl through lists of drawings or Excel sheets of data. So 3D models are becoming more and more widespread. They're an integral part of the digital twin, and our customers are starting to use these a lot more. So this actually means that we are being asked as end provider solutions to bring more models together from different systems. You know, we have typically a plant layout solution. We're being asked to import models coming from the building industries, from Revit and Tekla Trimble, etc. We're being asked to bring in mechanical CAD models from vendors like Autodesk, Dassault, Creo, etc., to make a more complete model. So we're being asked by our customers, put more data into your model, make them more complete. We see your environment as the place where we have all of our data for our 3D model. As I said, more use is being made of these models, so they're being pushed downstream for wearable devices like headsets, HoloLens, Oculus Rift. It's being used in operator training. As I said, it's being used in operational control rooms to find pieces of the model. If you need to do maintenance, it's easy to walk through the model. You need to see the piece of equipment you need to work on, potentially even how you could disassemble and reassemble it, and actually run through this task in the office before you even need to go to the field. So there's a lot more use being made of the model these days. And people are asking for a higher level of detail. You know, computer technology is advancing. People want to see almost photorealistic. They want to see lots more information than we would ever have traditionally had in the model. So we had to address these issues in our solutions. And, you know, our society has become a lot more mobile. This information needs to be accessed from anywhere at any time, even if it's large amounts of data. If it's, you know, hundreds of gigabytes of point cloud data or 3D models, you want to be able to pull this into a device, whether that's your mobile phone, your laptop, your iPad, for instance. You need to be able to access that data from anywhere at any time. So we have a lot of requirements from our customers that we couldn't address ourselves.
This is a demonstration of a new feature in the E3 design called Multicad Import. Multicad Import is found under the Interfaces tab in E3 Design, and when I click it, I get a dialog where I can open and import graphic files in more than 30 different file formats. That includes AutoCAD, Creo, IGES, SolidWorks, Revit, and many more. In our example here, I'm going to select a Revit file to import, and I click Open. I click the Next button here. I get some settings here that I don't need to change in my example. The only thing I have to do here is to select where to put this model, and I can also select here what kind of object I want this to become in E3D, selecting between equipment, volume, structure, framework, and others. I choose to select equipment in this case, so I hit Import. Together with Multicad Import also comes the Multicad Flexible Explorer. Multicad Flexible Explorer allows you to look at the substructure of the imported model data, and we will see that once the import is finished. This particular file takes about 50 seconds to import, so we're cutting it down in the video. So once the file is imported, we can see the result here. And this is now also available in this hierarchical structure, where we can see the content of the imported model data. So in our example here, we can, for example, see subsections of ducts and railings, and we can choose to select only the ducts, for example, so by just dragging and dropping. I can also choose to include, for example, railings together with the ducts.
So in the interest of time, I'll move on. So really, this has given us a great way to bring many more file formats into our 3D model, make our model more complete, and deliver a high level of digital twin for our customers. So as I said, it's given us almost 30 file formats. We ourselves had something like 5 or 6 prior to using Hughes Exchange. They were point-to-point solutions. Our teams were trying to keep up with the new formats that were released by partners. They didn't have the capacity to really add huge numbers of additional formats that our customers were asking us to have inside the model. So what we've done is we've been able to consolidate our development efforts down to focusing our import functionality on the Hoops SDK, Hoops Exchange SDK format. So we can actually, by writing one import format, bring in all of these 30 solutions, or the 30 formats that Hoops SDK is providing us. This was our first step to do an import. Our next phase of work will be to actually export back out to those formats. And again, this is something that we wouldn't be able to do with our own development teams. Having Hoops managing these models, keeping up to date, making sure when third-party vendors release new versions of their software, they're keeping their software up to date with the newest versions. It's something that we really struggled with to do at scale. So Hoops has really provided us with a really fantastic way to take these models, increase our number of formats, increase the quality of our 3D model, and give a better solution to our customers. So it's provided us with a fabulous tool that's been really well received by our customers as well. I think that was it. I've tried to do that as quick as I could, Jonathan. I hope I've not overrun too much.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Brian. No, that was great, especially touching on Hoops Exchange, showing that's the file access tool that brings all of the data into E3D. Just to be very clear, you're using Hoops Exchange, but the graphics are your own. Is that right?
That's correct. We've got our own graphical pipeline, so we're really bringing it in. We're actually creating native elements. We have our own proprietary database, so we create our own native elements and that we can see in our viewer. But we're obviously using your pipeline to just give us way more formats and obviously much more up-to-date versions as well.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, we'll have some questions, a Q&A for all of our panelists at the end of our summit today. Brian, thanks for staying up a little bit late and staying with us from Cambridge, UK. We have another presenter, Mathias Gustafsson, who's also joining us from Europe, from Sweden. And in this case, Mathias, you're using Hoops Exchange to read data, similar to Brian, but then also Hoops Communicator, part of the Hoops web platform, to visualize that CAD data in a web client. So we're kind of curious to see how you're using Hoops technology here at Eurostep within your ShareSpace product.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Jonathan. And hello, everyone. As Jonathan said, my name is Mathias Gustafsson. I live in Sweden and I work for Eurostep, a Swedish company. Me personally, I'm based in Stockholm, Sweden. Eurostep, we have offices also in Finland, in the UK, and also in France. Eurostep has a long history of working with product data technologies and standards, starting out working a lot within the standardization organizations, developing these kind of standards for product lifecycle data. Since around 2000, we've also been a software development company, and we're developing our own product that we sell, we implement customer projects on, and so on. Me personally, I'm working for the software development team, a team there within that organization called Product Communication. So we develop ShareSpace, and ShareSpace is a collaboration hub for controlled sharing of product data. And no matter from what lifecycle stage of the product lifecycle you're talking about, the idea is that ShareSpace should be able to handle it. So it could be information throughout the design phases, or during the manufacturing of said products, or in later stages of the lifecycle when you actually sold your products and you're maybe maintaining them. You have support contracts on actually maintaining the physical assets. ShareSpace is often like this kind of neutral space between original equipment manufacturers and their suppliers, sometimes even their customers or their partners. And looking at some of our customers and the products that these customers are managing using ShareSpace, or that ShareSpace is part of. All these products often have many IT systems involved, but in all these, you can see on the screen here, that's as a subset of products using ShareSpace, or having ShareSpace supporting the development process. As you can see, there's quite wide range of different types of products, everything from like submarines to little pool cleaning robots. But in the end, they're all leveraging the ShareSpace platform in different ways. So with our product ShareSpace, it's a kind of a platform product, and all of our offerings are based from this platform. You can even buy ShareSpace as software as a service in the cloud. But what we've done at Eurostep is that ShareSpace is a highly configurable platform. It can handle this kind of wide range of product lifecycle data. But what we've done is that we try to prepackage business processes and solving certain business problems. So we have kind of divided different configurations of ShareSpace up into different, what we call industry verticals. So we have we work within the manufacturing, typically automotive, the automotive industry, work within defense industry, and we also work with AC and plant. Then we also have some kind of customer projects that are plain. They start with the ShareSpace platform and kind of configure a product from scratch. We're actually using the Hughes technology in more than one of these packages, but today trying to explain what ShareSpace can do and how we've leveraged the Hughes technology. I'll focus in on something that we call design to manufacturing within our kind of manufacturing industry vertical. So to kind of give a brief explanation of a typical business problem or a scenario, it could be that if I'm an original equipment manufacturer, I'm building or producing this pump that we can see on the screen. It might be so that I own the intellectual property for the overall designs of this pump, but I'm not an expert in electrical motors, so that's maybe something I source. I buy components. A typical collaboration scenario here could be that I need to get information from potential partners of what kind of electrical motors do you have, what are the designs for those motors, will those motors like dimensionally fit within my pump, and so on. Another example could be that if I have the responsibility for installing this pump throughout the world, wherever I sell it, it might be so that I need a partner to help me build the base plate where the pump is supposed to be placed. But it could be so that I have the design responsibility of all of these base plates. I do kind of project-specific implementations for my different customers. Then I have a need maybe to then share those drawings, the designs, the material choices, and so on with my partners. They're actually the companies that are going to go out there, take my drawings, go out and start welding these things and start mounting them wherever my pump is expected to work. And this is where ShareSpace comes into play. There's a lot of information involved. It's not just about the drawings and the geometry and the 3D stuff. It's also a lot of data surrounding this. And all of that kind of needs to integrate together. And typical things that our customers are challenged with is that it's easy when you share information the first time, but as soon as you start changing things, you share information, you start getting feedback, you want to do change management of that. You start changing the information and then trying to figure out, okay, what have you agreed on together? What are the drawings that you should produce from? Is it the latest drawing or is it the one that we legally agreed to pick, and so on and so forth. So there's quite a lot of things that become complicated as time progresses in these different projects. So typically with the ShareSpace installation, we have integrations with many source systems, like where this kind of data is birthed. So maybe you have the PLM, the PDM system provides the BOMs, the CAD geometry. You have your ERP systems, maybe providing purchase orders or even work orders if you're in later stages of the product's life. You have change management. You might have configuration management as well. All of this kind of consolidates and becomes you could call it the digital twin in a way, and that kind of resides into ShareSpace, and you start consolidating this. Once you have the information there, you can then start sharing the information needed with your partners. then you don't want to share more than necessary. There could be legal reasons why you can't share more or everything. And when you start sharing information, it could be, if we look at just geometry, it could be, are you sharing the original CAD files, or are you just sharing lightweight information, or are you just sharing maybe 2D drawings because that's all that's been requested, or all that you've kind of contracted for. So this is typically what ShareSpace does, and I was thinking of having a look at what we've then done with the Hughes technology and ShareSpace. As Jonathan mentioned, we have used Hoop Exchange to be able to kind of parse geometry data coming from CAD systems so that we can translate that and load that into the to ShareSpace. And then once we have it in ShareSpace, we very much wants to visualize this. So this is the configured ShareSpace user interface. I will not go through the full details here, but I'll show some of the where we have the Hoops technology kind of integrated into our own web application. So the first thing I could do in here is I'll go into a module that's called parts. So here within this module, I can find my parts and my assemblies. If I start selecting data that I found, we can see that within our web application, we have this kind of preview component. It can preview images. This is actually a ping image. It could preview Word documents or the Office Suite kind of tooling. But what we've also been able to do is to take the Hoops technology and to give us like previewing of geometry data. So if I step to the next slide here, we can see that on this part, I actually store a JT file. And here I get an isometric 2D drawing of that geometry. So it's a quick way to kind of visualize, like when you're in ShareSpace here, you're navigating around, you want to find things, you also get the kind of visual cues to help you find what you're looking for. That's 2D. Then, of course, we've used Hoops communicator and the web components there to build a 3D viewer within the ShareSpace web application. So here we can see this pump that I had in my PowerPoint presentation. This component here, that's Hoops. To the left and to the right is kind of the ShareSpace web application, but we have this kind of interaction between. So if I start navigating information in here, I select this electrical motor. You can see that, okay, that's the electrical motor. I can start navigating throughout the information network that ShareSpace holds. Now I've simplified it, but as an example, it could be some technical spreadsheet about that motor that you find. I can also see that in this case, this has been shared with one partner. If I select the base plate here, again, other types of information that could exist here, it could be assembly instructions or just 2D drawings maybe. I can also see that in this case, this whole base plate has been shared with, in this case, Texoft 3D, which is a partner in it. So that's the viewing capability, and it's real nice to kind of have this integration between the communicator viewer and ShareSpace. Another use case that we have is that if I bring in another window here, I'm actually logged on as a user within Texoft 3D. So earlier on, I shared only the base plate with them. So Texoft in this case cannot see the whole pump, but they see what they need to do. So this could potentially be a welding company then that would go and weld these things. But as I do that, it might be so that there are issues with my design. It will not fit where they've been asked to install it, or there might be deficiencies in the design. It will not be able to support the weight of the pump or what have you. And then we can use standard functionality, the kind of redlining that we have in the Hoops here. So I can start kind of annotating things. I can start measuring, start commenting. And finally, once I've done all that, I can from within ShareSpace create something we call a problem report that will then take a screenshot of this. It will also be able to replay this later on if me as the original equipment manufacturer start going through the problem report registered. I can have the hopes here kind of replay the scene and put out the redlining, and that gives me better understanding of, okay, what's their problem. I can go back, starting the change process, provide the changes, and then use the benefits of ShareSpace, dealing with all these changes, being able to communicate the changes, and making sure that we're working on the correct information. that was a very quick walkthrough of what ShareSpace is and does and how we've integrated with Hughes technology. Thank you all.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mathias. We appreciate that. So looking at the data, bringing it in using Hoops Exchange, and then visualizing it with Hoops Communicator. And then it looks like you're also leveraging Hoops Communicator when it's processing that data to create those isometric views. And so you have some control over not just creating a 3D viewable asset, but then also these thumbnails that allow you to navigate your data. That's great. Again, if you guys have questions, our attendees or listening in, feel free even now to put them there in the chat or in the Q&A, and we might be able to get to them now, or then also we have our QA session at the end. Our last presenter is Jim Sronce from Datamine, and we were looking at Brian's desktop application, Mathias's web-based application. We're going to go back to the desktop and look at a slightly different implementation for the desktop, but this is in mining, and there's a lot of data that goes into that. And he's going to be showing us Hoops Visualize, which is as visualization SDK. And you'll see a lot of overlap between this and building and construction, as well as the big data that he's going to be showing. So Jim, what do you have to share with us today?
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Let me see if I can share the right screen. Let me know if you can see it, yeah?
Yep, looks good.
Excellent. Okay, hey, thanks, Jonathan. Again, my name is Jim Sronce, and I am the general manager and product manager of Mindscape at Datamine. I just want to talk a little bit about Datamine. I'll try to speed it up a little bit. I'll go ahead and give you a quick introduction of our company in case some of you don't know what we do. So Datamine, it's a company within a Constellation software group. And as you can see, Datamine is part of a pretty good sized company. And the one thing that we do is, we retain our independent brands, meaning that we're not going to lose our identity. So how do we fit into this? First off, let's talk a little about the technology, where we're heading with this. And the reason I bring this up is because it fits in really well with TechSoft. So one of the things we do at Datamine is we're continually looking ahead in the future, and we want to look at these new technologies. We're listening to our customers, and one of these is mobility. Mobility technology is a way of life. So we need real-time data to assist with decision making. And so really at Mindscape, we've done a small PLC for mobility, and we are actually looking at ways to leverage the tools available from TechSoft. AI is continuing to emerge as a powerful tool for advanced analysis and decision support, and we need to embrace it. So we're looking at that cloud. Of course, Mindscape is a client server, so we're looking at some of the other products from TechSoft to help us utilize the power of the cloud going forward. And again, it's for us at Mindscape, it's all about ensuring that we have high performance in our visualization. As you can see from this slide, Datamine has quite a few independent brands, and Mindscape is just one of these. It starts from the geology products to the mining engineering products. So we provide a suite of design planning and optimization and execution tools. And I guess what I'm saying is, all these products we have, they have a place out here, and I think TechSoft can help us go forward with some of these products, and they're helping us with Mindscape for sure. This slide shows a small subset of our customers with more than 6,000 customers globally. We understand mining, and we have a wide range of solutions to meet these. I wanted to show this so you can see really how extensive we are with how many offices we have and how we use local resources and that language and the time zone. And really, if you look at this slide, you can see that we have tripled our staff since 2015. And so, we're continuing to grow. And so we definitely need help. So really, let's talk a little bit about Mindscape and how we partnered with TechSoft. A lot of people ask, what is Mindscape? And this slide I have up is really the interface. The first thing you see when you start up Mindscape, it's our start page. And Mindscape is a suite of software to help geologists and mine planning engineers create the most accurate models and accurate optimized mine plans. And it consists of multiple apps, and each app contains certain functionality. Now, our forte is stratigraphic geologic modeling and drill hole management, including strong quality modeling, along with enhanced engineering tools. I think it's important to discuss some of these major features. So, as you can see, the top one is access to a simultaneous multi-user environment. We want to ensure that our users have access to all the data without having to make copies of this data. Again, as I mentioned earlier, in the cloud, this is important for us to move forward into the cloud so they can share this information. You see, I highlighted the sophisticated 3D graphics engine. Again, we can say that because we have partnered with TechSoft, and you'll see how we've implemented Hughes Visualize and some of the reasons why. We can, of course, do serious modeling, stratigraphic modeling. We also have a database, a drill hole database management system. But I guess I want to highlight that is because we have some powerful correlation tools within a 3D graphics environment. So we need that performance. Block modeling, again, we use the powerful 3D visualization to help us. We can publish 2D PDFs and 3D PDFs. Again, it's all about visualization. And we are using some of that product from TechSoft. Advanced CAD features. Goes without saying that if you don't have a good, high-performing CAD interface, then it's hard to keep the users involved. So now let's talk about how we incorporated Hughes Visualize into Mindscape. So we had a challenge. One of our biggest challenge was how do we make sure that the mine planning engineers, the mine design engineers, the drill and blast engineers, geologists, and all these other experts within the mine site have access to a high-end 3D visualization package. So what we did is we wanted to make sure that our customers, which are really no different than the other industry users, like we saw from the previous two the presentations, they really require a strong visualization solution. So, and for us, it all caters around geologic modeling and mine design and planning. Now, we recognize that developing a graphics engine internally was time and resource intensive undertaking. So what happened is the new features and functionality requests, got left in the backlog queue. And it could be for months because why? We were busy developing, using those resources on a CAD engine. So again, we were simultaneously trying to keep a graphics engine up to date while also creating mining specific features for customers. What happened is we hit a crossroad. Do we hire more developers with an emphasis on graphics, or do we look for a third party? For us, it was an easy solution, an easy decision, I should say. And we decided to focus on what we do best, and that's to build mining software and let the experts handle the 3D visualization. So what was the solution? the solution was, of course, Hughes Visualize. And we needed to access and integrate our apps with a powerful 3D graphics SDK. And we needed a high performance interactive 3D visualization, which could be easy to implement. We didn't want to spend time on this and all these development resources to do it. And so really what we found is that the Hughes Visualize was way ahead of its competition. We did a POC on this. Now, the nice thing about it is not only did we see that the functionality was there, but we also got some really good responsiveness from TechSoft around answering our questions and addressing any support issues and sharing roadmap plans. And it made it very clear to us we found the correct vendor. So Datamine really feels that the decision to use TechSoft for the 3D graphics was a great strategic decision. It just made a lot of sense. We're not a graphics company, we're a mining software company. So in the previous slide, I mentioned some of the results, but really what are the good results? We can leverage industry's leading visualization toolkits. That gives us the development resources to focus on mining specific functionality. We can reduce the time required to incorporate new features because we don't have to worry about building our own CAD engine. And we get to provide users the best possible rendering and selection performance solution. So, Mindscape can now come out with new product releases that respond to the needs of the mining market quickly because our development resources are being used differently. Now, why? The previous slide identified some of the other results, but why did we change? Well, first off, we wanted to reduce the cost of in-house development. That was number one. We wanted to realign this. We wanted to also focus on our mining specific functionality. There was no need for us to continue to go down the path we were going. And I guess a good analogy would be if I would turn around and ask Jonathan and the team there at TechSoft to build some geologic modeling functionality or software for us. Yeah. So that's why we decided to go this way. We also needed access to high performance graphics. The thing is with these high performing graphics is we want to do more. We wanted our users to be able to improve on the velocity of their design work. And you know what? They're expecting this high performing graphics. And we also wanted stable software. Since 3D visualization is integral to many aspects of our planning and design, we needed to find a solution for this. And it's imperative that our customers can display their data quickly and in real time. The other thing is effectively manage big data. We're getting more and more requests of this, and how do they bring all this big data into a system and be able to rotate it and zoom in, zoom out, and do all this stuff. So the amount of data we can load up and manage right now is really impressive. I get a lot of comments from our users saying that the performance in our CAD is outstanding. And you know what? That's all because of the Hughes Visualize. So it's everything from the display to the plotting to the interrogation to the sectioning and slicing. The last thing is the focus updates. TechSoft has been very transparent, and we have regular catch-up meetings with them, and it goes both ways. They show their roadmap, we show our roadmap. So what happens is we're really confident when we get an update from TechSoft that it's going to work. The defects have been fixed and it's stable, and we don't have to worry about undoing it and putting the older version in. So it's been a really good partnership. Now, some of the benefits we're getting is we get to realign our development resources. We can take these resources and put them in other areas of Mindscape. Improve feature development, as I mentioned before, it's because of the new realignment. We can reduce our defect backlog because we're not building a CAD engine. We get product development for point clouds. We get to work on a point cloud product now. And a lot of that was because Hoops has taken that concern away from us that how do we handle this big data? Well, we can handle it. Okay. And then bottom line is improved CAD performance. All in all, I can safely say that the benefits we receive, it definitely outweigh the costs associated with Hoops Visualize. Okay, so here, what I'd like to do is just show you a quick video of Mindscape 2021 so you get a better idea. And again, a big part of this was because of Hoops.
Things are rapidly progressing around us. New technologies and developments are making our daily lives better and more efficient. So why have these advancements not made mining software easier to use? It's 2020. Why not have better software? At Mindscape, we saw the frustration. We saw how annoyed you were. We felt the disappointment. You told us that performance is crucial, that intuitive workflow is important, that ease of use is essential, and enhanced design features are required. We listened, we watched, and we understood what you were going through. We evolved, we rethought the process, and we rebuilt the foundation of Mindscape. Our new, improved intuitive interface and rapid CAD tools put the controls at your fingertips, letting you make quick design changes, accomplish more with fewer clicks, stay focused, spend less time moving the mouse, and more time designing. Get designs done faster, minimize frustration, and have work-life balance. It's time to discover the difference. This revolutionary change is coming soon.
So that was just a quick overview of what it's all about. And I'm telling you, because a lot of that stuff you saw in that video is because of the new CAD performance. So these are now, I just thought I'd go through a few more slides just to show you some of the things that we can do now. You can see that we have a whole lot of prisms, triangulations in here. And these are massive areas that now we can spin around and look at. Now, the beauty of this, instead of doing simple graphics as before, viewing cross sections in 2D and contours, we can now do this all in 3D. And it gives the users the ability to view this, find the errors, make a fix, view it again in short order, not like before. This is just another view, some more graphics of big, massive mining areas, again, with the prisms all through there. This is a block model. We can bring in gigabytes of data now in Mindscape and actually slice and dice. You can see we're doing cross sections through here, like 3D cross sections. This is point clouds and multiple formats bringing in, and these are millions of data points that we can bring right into Mindscape, view, rotate, do whatever we need to do with it. And this is an absolute must in today's world. It's all about bringing in big data. This is an example of a client data. They wanted to see if they could bring this into Mindscape. And this one just happens to only be 146 million points that we can load up. Now, I don't know how many people want to do that, but we tested it and sure enough, it works. This is just another view of a project area where we're doing a pit optimization, trying to determine where the pit limits are. And again, multiple triangles, multiple mesh triangles in here. Now, this last slide is what it's all about. This is what people want to see. They want to be able to have high performing graphics, visualize their data in 3D, and get away from all the 2D systems that they used to work in. So, okay, that's in a nutshell, that's all I have, Jonathan. So I can give it back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jim, for your kind words. We really do appreciate that. Unsolicited, but it's nice to hear that things are working well for you and we're able to kind of move through your challenges. Yeah. And thank you, everyone, Brian and Matthias. We really do appreciate you participating. Just a quick overview of our technology, what's powering these software products and 650 other independent software products as well. We touched on a few today, like Hoops Exchange for multi-CAD import, Hoops Communicator for web-based visualization, and Hoops Visualize for desktop and mobile visualization. There's a lot of other tools that we can explore here at TechSoft, including the resale of Siemens Parasolid and MachineWorks Polygonica. Those are our modeling toolkits, mesh modeling and solid modeling toolkits, the Autodesk portfolio of OEM products if you want a quick and dirty way, but extremely powerful way to build a software application. You can rebrand Autodesk or AutoCAD or Autodesk Inventor using your own branding and then also your own features and functionality. Recently, we've seen a real shift in the engineering space to analysis, and we've invested in that space with a number of analysis tools from VKI and Citron. So those are now TechSoft companies, real big names in the analysis space, and we're seeing that throughout the product lifecycle. So right from the design phase, using analysis to make better products. And then also a number of tools for publishing, like 3D PDF publishing or publishing to a standalone HTML file. So there's a lot of tech there that we're excited to be bringing to the engineering space and excited to see how you end up using it. If one of those technologies interests you, just reach out to us, please. Visit us on our website and either kind of follow our web platform or a native platform with these. Many of these technologies are integrated. So Mathias was showing the integration of Exchange and Communicator for the web. But I did say we'd have some time for questions and answers. I know we kept you guys, well, we have a little bit of time. We just had so much to talk about. And there was an hour goes by so quickly. And that's great. Like that's what we want to have happen. But here we have an opportunity to hear from our attendees. If you have questions for our presenters, we'd love, or for TechSoft, I'll try my best to answer those. But if you do have questions, please post them, and we have some time here to answer them. And I can have a really awkward pause of empty space, and we can do that. But I also have a couple prepared questions as I was going through your presentations. Now the second time, so this is actually the second time we've done this live today. One was for Brian, and you had mentioned the desire for more photorealistic rendering.
Yeah.
And I know Hoops Exchange recently, not super recently, but we started supporting FBX and GLTF data, which has kind of this advanced PBR, physically based rendering way of representing data that includes textures and some environmental effects and metalness and roughness, kind of these advanced physical features for better rendering. Are you taking advantage of that, or in other ways, are you introducing photorealistic rendering within your product?
We are busy in that area. Absolutely. Not with TechSoft technology. We've got our own common visualization platform. To be fair, we are seeing the most demand for that inside of the wearables part of viewing the 3D model and the operator training. So we have our own tools there. We have something called XR Studio, which is simply speaking, is like a Unity type engine that creates our 3D rendered applications, can read FBX as well. So we're doing similar type of things. I'm not sure yet if the CAD world is ready to have a fully photorealistic model to model in. I would love to try it out and see how that goes, but that might be a step too far for some.
Yeah. We're lagging a little bit, but that would be interesting. I haven't seen a ton of even PBR data in engineering yet, but we're starting to see grumblings and interest there. Great. A question for Mathias. Just curious about your tech stack for Share as Space, front end and back end.
Yes. So we are currently in the process of moving Stack for the front end, moving over to using React. and everything TypeScript based. If we look at the Hughes integration, the web viewer, I know the developers implementing that really appreciated the TypeScript definitions that were provided with the Hughes technology, so it's real good. For the core of ShareSpace, we have our own proprietary graph database for managing the information. And for technology stack, we're using .NET Core, or rather .NET 5 we're on right now. We're moving over to .NET 6 coming up.
Okay, great. Great. Any other questions from our attendees today? I don't think we have any. Maybe a couple observations just before we go. I thought it was interesting, two things. Two of you mentioned AI for decision support. That seems like a really interesting space of how to, kind of not an easy, but like a great first step as we develop AI. So I'm really interested. Does anyone have a comment kind of further about that? That just kind of stuck out as me. I made a note on that this is a great place to be investing in.
I think from our perspective, looking at AI, I think customer expectation probably doesn't meet reality. You're not going to have a button to design a refinery or a nuclear power plant, but where AI is really strong, it's very good at analyzing lots of data very quickly and making a series of binary decisions. If you can start to leverage that and help in our world, the CAD designers to make more efficient decisions, or actually reduce maybe in some cases the number of choices they have, you can probably really streamline the design process, make it more efficient. It's definitely something we're looking at doing. We talked about big data on my slides. Having big data and having access to that data gives you the opportunity to leverage some of the great technology out there for AI.
Great.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brian on that. I mean, there's some things in mine planning that, you can or can't do. So, we should help them make those decisions so they're not spending time in a bad design, or, hey, listen, this is what's been working. This is what we brought in, and, the actual. So we'll go ahead and help you build that. But I think the biggest thing for us is the mobility. I think we need to become more mobile with our data and things like that. And because it's all about the mobility nowadays. It's all about a notification. Something happened, I want to get a notification, those type of things, So that's really what we're going to be concentrating on in the Mindscape area.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for mentioning mobility, because a couple things before we conclude. I did want to introduce our forum, so the discussion will continue. So if maybe you had a question come to mind a little bit later today, please, there is a thread here in our forum around our summit today. This is also where we're going to post a link to the video, so you'll have access to the recording of this for yourself and your colleagues. But also ask questions here. We'd love to continue that conversation.